Okay, good evening, everyone. We are starting the today introduction session for Data 650, which we have, of course, several items to review. Today is myself, Elena Gorcheva. I'm the program director for Master of Science in Data Analytics in general for the data science area in the School of Cybersecurity. We run graduate and undergrad program. So I've been with UMGC since 2002, working as a program director for different program, and almost 10 years ago, I took over this program, which is the newest one, let's put it this way, the way it evolved. And I enjoy this work because this is actually my passion. To deliver to the student, to see how they grow for professional career, delivering everything I have acquired in my professional life to build better curricula and make people grow and get better position, not only job position, grow in life professionally. So I actually not teaching the course this semester because for different organizational program, we are running just a single section, which Professor Ozan is going to teach. But since the section is so big, I'm going to help from time to time as program director when I get time. And since usually we were working together running two sections, I'm just following the same pattern, but you won't see me on a regular basis. Your professor is Professor Ozan. Ozan, you have the stage. Say a few words about yourself, please.
Yes, hello everyone. This is Ozan. I'm a professor for this university more than 6 years ago, I guess. And we have been teaching this class with Professor Gorcheva for a long time. I'm very excited for the new term. At the same time, I'm working at outside as the project management coach for the industry in the IT industry. So I wish everyone a good luck and a good semester. Thank you.
Excellent. And with us is Elena Batinskaya. Many of you already know her. She's our excellent technology support. And since this course is very, very, very packed with technology, you will see her probably more frequently than in other classes. Elena, say please a few words about yourself.
Most of you already met me.
You fade, you're away.
I have been with UMGC for 15 years actually, and I have my master's degree in database system technology also from UMGC. Most of you might remember me from Data 610 or maybe Data 630. So I wish everybody successful semester, and I'll see you in the future webinars. All right.
Great. So, and you see the paces of this session are fast. I just want that we speak and you have the stage to ask as many questions as you have, because this is the purpose of this synchronous session. It's not just to record something, which we can do and post in the classroom, but give you the opportunity to ask question immediately. So our agenda is going to include some very introductory key point on big data. Why? Because we find out that student expectation for this class are have to be explained since the beginning, so we understand what we are going to study in this very extensive area. And of course, we are going to overview the thing related with grading, with software, with activity, and of course, question and answer from your part. So, as I promised, I will start very quickly with what is big data and each and every one of you already know, because for 10 years, not only in the program, we are hearing of this big data, big data, big data, and we are tired. We have many contradictory opinion. There is not such a thing, and so on and on and on. Of course, as a student in this program, you have understanding what we are talking about. I just want to summarize and to evolve how is the subject of this course related with what we understand of big data. And as I said, the term has evolved and is related not only with the growth and the amount of data, but with the variety and the complexity of data. Today, in any enterprise, we are talking about a lot of textual and visual data. And this is totally different from the totally structured data we deal in the traditional SQL databases. So when the big data evolved to the point that the existing technology, which was the SQL database, was not able to handle, new technology evolved to help us how to deal with this evolving type of data in order to capture, storage, search, and the most importantly, from our point of view as a data analyst, data scientist, to get insight, to get value of this data, because the most important thing, what is the meaning, what important is hidden in this data, and we can get advantage to make a smart decision and to evolve in different area of our life. So when we talk about big data, we are talking about new architecture, we are talking about new methods and new technology tools. And of course, you have to understand that we have to talk about the new skills the data scientist has to learn. So that's why with this evolution of data toward big data on and on, we have to talk about the skill as a data scientist. Any professional, and that's why you are studying, have to have in order to progress in their professional life. So here is the picture you have seen 1,000 times during the program. And we are talking about not only the volume, we are talking the complexity, and we are talking about the structure which is needed in order to be able to get insight. That's why from traditional database, we evolved to NoSQL databases. I very like this slide, that's why I put it here, because this is a summary what I'm presenting. It's not a formal lecture. So why I like this slide? It comprises an evolution of almost 20 years in the subject, how the data appeared in different enterprise, and how two different factors are present in this evolution. One is company start having and using not only big amount of data from terabyte to petabyte to exabyte, but also different type of data. And we are talking about YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, with a lot of textual and images data. So that's why that was from one side, this company needed new technology to deal with this variety of data. You cannot deal with this textual data with the traditional SQL database, right? So that was from one side, the necessity of the industry. And on the other side was that the technology was evolving and was able to provide solution. And the solution, all of you know where it was the file system Hadoop for big data, the first solution to deal with this data, which was the way to store and access big data in a Hadoop distributed file system, and then the algorithm which can deal and search this data and instruct inside, which was MapReduce. So this was the first technology to deal with big data, and they still remain, although we are talking about evolution of many years, and we are going, of course, not only historically, but still this technology, Hadoop and MapReduce, although this is already history, they have some relevance in company because they cost a lot of money and they still serve purposes of many companies. So we are going to pay a little, let's say, not a little attention, just in time, we are going to pay attention to them as much as possible. A 12-week course in this subject permit, but we are going to go to the evolution, to the new technology, a new application in this realm. So keep in mind, here is the evolution with two-side necessity and the technology able to provide solution. So keep in mind that if we want to present as a data scientist, data analyst, you want to present the problem about the data in some more abstract form, the way it is presented here. Why? Because you have to make your mind the problem as a data analyst, data scientist you're working, where it fell in structured, unstructured, and like the real world, there is not only black and white. The real world is full of gray area. So the same is with data. It's not only structured and unstructured. We have a lot of different type of structure, which is semi-structured, quasi-structured. And when you work on analytical problem, the first thing about your data is to understand what kind of data you're working in. If they have some defined structure, you can work with the traditional SQL database, or they are semi-structured like HTML data, which is some pattern you can observe with this pattern in some kind of structure, although not the structure of table, or some, let's say, clickstream data, which is also textual data, but the structure of this textual data is not so well defined, although you can find some pattern. Let's put it this way. So this is the transition toward what we must have and what we must will be focusing in this class, which is unstructured data. Why? Because this is what any company needs today. Textual and visual data, and all they fail in this down part of the pyramid, which is the big amount of all the problem, is to solve problem using textual and visual data, and most of the project you're going to do will be somehow related with this. So we're talking about totally unstructured textual or visual data, which can be stored, from computer science of view in different type of file, video, PDF, text document, and you name it. So every time you work, you have to think about what is your problem, what is the type of data, is it structured, semi-structured, quasi-structured, on totally unstructured, and look for the appropriate technology and methodology and method to deal with them to get analytical results. Why? Because if you have quasi-structured data, you don't have to use the approach for textual data because they are, let's say, they are designed for different type of data. So that's why it's very important you decide what type of data, and this is going to help you how to approach with the appropriate methodology to deal with the analytic for this data and extract insight, extract value of this data, which will produce something for the problem you are working on. So the most important thing is the totally unstructured data. And I want to point since this beginning in this class, not only because this is the big chunk of data, the importance today, most of the application, because the complexity of this type of data, fortunately, it has evolved over the last 30 years, since computer scientists are working on this, we have a lot of advancement, but still is very difficult for computer program to be able to totally, let's say, understand the complexity of the natural language, because the complexity, like I have several bullet points borrowed from IBM, which just are telling us so we can reflect in the complexity of the language. For example, why do we fill in a form by filling it out? It sounds a little weird, right? And the same thing is, how can a house can burn up as it burns down, right? And you understand, given this complexity, if you are looking for a computer program which is going to make sense of this data, the complexity is just a reflection to the natural complexity of the natural language. Okay, so I very like the example in the bottom, which show the same thing in structured and in totally unstructured data, the way we find data today, the way any enterprise wants, and any enterprise has this type of unstructured data. This is regarding the leadership of Jack Welch, which described it in totally unstructured data. Sounds like, if a leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has proved himself a master painter during his tenure at GA. I just want that that you reflect to this sentence and think about that you as a human, in order to understand this, sometimes we have to read this 2 or 3 times to get the meaning. So all this complexity, how we embed in the computer program, so we can get the essence of this sentence, and we can use this data as something useful. So this complexity is going to be present all around this course, because this is the type of data we are going to work. And here I go, what to expect. The course doesn't say artificial intelligence, the course doesn't say AI, but actually what the course has evolved is the same way big data has evolved. How big data has evolved? Big data as a raw data is nothing, is not useful to something. So using big data for machine learning model, you understand that training the model with huge amount of data, you will be getting much more reliable and, let's say, more close to the reality result. So machine learning benefits of the marriage with big data, okay? And machine learning today, actually, without big data, is not machine learning. It was data mining. Well, you were not in the program, you were probably in other position, in other, let's say, stage in your life, growing as professional, but that was the thing, and it's the same thing, just the change for data mining to machine learning came with the evolution of big data. So we start training these models with much more data, and we were getting much better and precise results. So machine learning and big data married, and they provide much better result to us. And then what we talk today as a concept of contemporary AI is just this, is the application of machine learning to help human beings, to help us to perform better. And that is what is the contemporary AI. Contemporary AI is not something like the traditional AI we studied 30 years ago, and that it can work totally autonomous and make decision on our behalf. We are not talking about this. We're talking about the contemporary AI, which is actually many times when you read today, the two concepts, machine learning and AI, are used many times indistinctly, like there is no difference. There is a suitable difference between both of them, but mainly when we talk about contemporary AI, we are talking about machine learning model which can provide us with useful result, and they can facilitate our activity in any corner of our life, in any, no exclusion of any area of life, from industry to healthcare, to psychology, to business, to aviation, you name it. I'm not gonna name aviation today because I have very bad experience, but that is what is the reality. So we are talking about in this class of what is the contemporary AI, because the machine learning is the heart of this, of the contemporary AI. A contemporary AI, or let's say, is like augmentation of human capability. That is what it is. And we are not talking about AI which will let to make decision autonomously for us. We are far away still, I would say at least 20-25 years away from this classical definition of artificial intelligence, when this computer program, in data science we are naming them model, will produce something totally autonomous and will make decision for us. We are far away still from this, but everything is moving with such a speed that I don't want that you get confused that we are going to talk mostly about this in this class. And this is because the big data is the base of this, like the base for the machine learning, which is the heart of the contemporary AI. I just want a quick follow-up if there is any question, comment up to here so we can use the time wisely. Any question? I don't see any. Okay. And just to clarify more, and all this I'm presenting in order to avoid confusion, because I understand in the today world when everyone is Googling whatever thing is not totally clear, we got confused with some hype. The hype 10 years ago was big data. The hype today is AI, and both hype are directly related with our subject of study. So that's why I try to clarify. So we, starting the class, we see the big picture. okay? We are clear in the big picture. So when we start navigating through the specific project, which are not the total area, you understand, practically you will do very specific project. It's not all this we are talking about. We will talk the big picture. We will discuss the skills of data scientists. We will discuss tendency, but practically you will do something very specific. And sometimes when you go deep to the specific things, you miss the big picture. So the purpose of all this talk right now is that this is the big picture. So when you start navigating to your specific project in the program, make sure you understand. Okay, let's see. I would try to, it's almost this day, Hassani. The thing is that the classical AI can make the decision without human, let's put it this way, I would say. But actually the contemporary AI help us make better decision, which is totally accurate. That is what it is. And the classical AI, at some point, 20 years from now, or who knows, maybe sooner, I don't know, will make decision itself. This is very dangerous. You understand why, right? We already can see why, and you will talk a lot in the class about this. So yes, that is true. So I don't see other question. I'm just going to pour your attention to this slide, which try to present each of the different subjects and how they are related. Because you, at this point, you understand that deep learning is a subtopic of machine learning. And you should understand with what we are talking, that machine learning is a subtopic of the artificial intelligence, but I would say subtopic of big magnitude, because it's the heart, is the center of the today AI. The center of the today AI is the machine learning. And many people just go the shortcut, you know, and they say everything is deep learning AI. This is too simplistic to say, you know, although there is a lot of truth on this, okay? Because with deep learning, while we went to deep learning. Deep learning is you get a lot of data and you can get computer architecture with more layer and more layer and more layer, but everything is hidden from you, and we are in new stage. So that is what is the today, let's say, organization of this field, and everything evolved. Of course, each of them has its algorithm and so, and models and so on. And how is this related with data science? Well, directly related, although data science is more than this, right? That's why I have data science overarching outside. So having said that, I want to point out how we are going to work in this class. So our focus is going to be machine learning for big data, and we understand that big data is not, when we talk about big data in this class, this is not about the data itself. It's about the method, structure, and approaches to deal with this data. That is what we are talking about. So is the technology for big data to get insight from this data. So since the technology is directly related, it's not the data itself. When we talk big data, it's not the data itself, but it's the technology to deal with from the point of view of data scientists, data analysts we're talking about. So traditionally, as a data scientist, data analyst, we were working in what is presented here to the left hand, which is traditional approach, which as a business user will pose a problem and will ask the IT people to build a data warehouse or just a data structure to answer this question. And of course, the business user will have to wait around 6 months to get this data warehouse built and get the answer to this question, right? That is the traditional way. This traditional way work, but this is just a very small sub-problem of the way today today enterprise work with data. The today approach is what is to the right hand and which is named exploratory analysis in the cloud. Why is in the cloud? You have a platform when all different software packages are present, and data scientists, data analysts can select the one he needs to use to solve the problem. Totally different approach. Everything is there, so he doesn't need to wait for IT to build the architecture for him. The architecture is there. He doesn't need everything. He will need, according to the problem, portion of these available resources in the cloud and use them to solve the problem. So this new strategy, this new way to work today in data science and analytics is the way we are going to follow in this class. So everything we do, including Python, R, which you have in your computer, for the purpose of this class, to get trained with the tendency of the contemporary way to work in big data, you're going to do either Python, R, whatever you're going to do in the cloud. So we are going to train you in as much as possible. Of course, you understand this is 12-week course, and as the time permit, you will be doing 4 projects, but in each and every of them, you will explore different big data technology. That is what we are going to do in this class, okay? So, like all other classes you already completed, this is competence-based course in which we are going to talk the broader aspect of the subject of the course. We will have discussion and you will be doing very specific assignment. So when you do the assignment, please do not lose the big picture vision, because sometimes you are so concerned that your code is working, that you get the result, that your visualization look nice, that you lose the big picture. So remember, you will have 4 major assignments, and they are very specific application of different sides of big data technology. That is what we are going to do in this class. And when you do this assignment, you will be learning how to work in new platform with new software packages, because as a data scientist, that is the way company are looking for data scientists when they hire you, that you are skilled, you rapidly and you fast can learn new technology, and you have at least minimal knowledge in certain technology. So, and of course, you will have the opportunity to discuss everything. And I want just to point very quickly to that this program is still very young, because we started in 2013, okay? We still haven't turned 10 years as a program, but we can say that there is a lot of, I mean, we are proud what we do. Our curriculum has been recognized with different awards. Our students have been recognized because they have been participating in international conferences and ranking very well among 200 or more than 200 teams from different international university. And just to tell you, and they feel, let's say, this teamwork is a very important thing, which we try to do as much as possible in this program. I just wanted to point, because this is a point of culmination, we don't have other opportunity in the program to talk about this, just to mention so you are aware where you are and what is the program you are working in. So Ozan, are you there? Can you continue, please, with the course schedule, grading, and all this?
Sure, Professor, I can do that.
Okay, you just tell me when to move the slide.
Okay. So, okay. So, our first week assignment is definitely to submit some your availability to our system. So you should definitely not miss that. And our assignment 1 is due for the second week. So almost all of our assignments takes quite amount of time, honestly. And we definitely recommend all of our students to start the assignments ahead of the time. As soon as they complete the one assignment, they should start working on the next assignment, because when the students generally leave to the last 2 days or last 3 days, they do not get successful. They do not be successful. But when they start ahead of time, when they put enough time, then we can they can be very successful. So we have 4 main assignments, but besides these 4 main assignments, we have some tutorials, we have some other types of small assignments as well. So besides these, again, main assignments, our students also should spend good amount of time and work ahead for that sentimental analysis, the Spark tutorial, those types of assignments as well. But these assignments prepared and designed very well in a way that you guys can learn all the concepts of different tools, and these are very industry standard tools that you will be learning. Yep, thank you. The next slide, please. Okay, so the first assignment is about the H-base. The second assignment is about in the Spark environment. The third assignment is for sentimental analysis, and the fourth one that we're going to use we are going to build a chatbot using the Watson Cognitive. So these are all different softwares. These are all different environments, but eventually you will be learning different tools and different methods.
Okay. Grading.
Okay, for the grading, so we have again these main assignments. We have these also small assignments, and we also have discussion boards. We have this grading schedule 80 to 85, 70, 85 to 90, 90 to 10. These are all listed in the syllabus anyways. But we definitely want all of our students to spend good amount of time, first of all, then follow the rubric, follow the assignment description very well. And when you have any question, any concern, please reach out to me or Yelena immediately so that we can solve your problems. And we are going to be hosting some help sessions right before the assignments. Those assignments, those help sessions will also help you to understand the assignment very well, also our grading structure very well. And when you put enough time, when you follow the announcements, when you follow the help sessions, if you cannot join, if you listen their recordings, and if you follow all those, those assignment descriptions, read them very well, and follow every main detail, you will easily get full grades from your assignments. But if you go, put more effort, and if you put a more detail, like if you just don't submit this, results, but also explain your analysis, if you make more contribution, you will definitely get much higher grade than you expect in this classroom. Next one, please.
I think next is going the technology. I don't know, you cover this or Elena, who covered this?
Let's Elena to cover this. Thank you.
Okay, Elena, your turn.
Okay, so basically here you have some nice chapters from the O'Reilly book. They're in first module, and I believe in the second one. They're really nice. But this slide explains you how to access these chapters. So when you click on a chapter, it's going to take you to the page where it asks you to select an institution. And there is no UMGC on the list, but then I think it's going to ask you for an email, all right? And once you're logged in, you're good to go. And it's totally free, right? As a student, you get free access to those chapters. You need to click on, so you click on a link, you'll be prompted to choose your institutions, and you're going to select not listed option. And then you need to enter your email. Everybody here knows what your student email, right? It's an email that you use if you're not a faculty, if you're just a student. It's an email address that you use to sign into the learning system, right? It ends with student.umgc.edu, right? Okay, so that's your student email. That's what you use to access this. Okay, make sense? This is just an example here. You have 2 chapters due for the first couple weeks, right?
Okay, technology.
Right. So, effective several semesters ago, we don't ask the TA questions in a discussion. Instead, well, it should say just Elena. What's gonna happen is that I'm gonna assist you. There is a form in the classroom that you need to fill out, and most of you are already familiar with it, right? Because the process was the same in your last course, right? So there is a form, there is a page called Help with Technology Software. You're gonna click on that link. It's gonna take you to the page where you need to fill out, right? Very important. Please do not call the help desk. You need to use this form in the classroom, because if you call the help desk, your ticket will not be received for a few more days, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna create a pre-case that goes in a different system. The case gets forwarded to us, then it has to be processed. It could take a couple days. But if you follow the instructions, you're gonna get prompt assistance. In fact, one of you already received assistance with IBM Cloud account, right? So that was quick. Okay, so this is the form. You want to make sure that you select the last option, right? Virtual lab support, right? And also you want to select the semester, right? Then you need to make sure that you select the correct course, because if you select, for example, Data 620, I'm not going to receive the ticket. The ticket will go to the wrong person, okay? Now, you're going to receive an email. Response is going to be an email, but it's not going to be from me. It's going to be from Salesforce. So when you respond, right, even if I have a carbon copy to myself, you want to make sure that in the response, you include the email from Salesforce, okay? Well, because otherwise, the ticket won't be recorded in the system, the response won't be recorded in the system, and I may not receive it, okay? So you have to follow instructions, and I'm gonna help you as fast as I can, right? It's not instant, but as fast as I can. So this is just the technologies listed here. IBM Cloud Platform, right? You're gonna use DB2, Spark, and Watson Cognitive, Watson Cloud Pop, and languages are Python, R, and SQL, okay? So that's what's gonna happen. And we're gonna do some demos. Well, this is a screenshot of the IBM Cloud homepage. Your first assignment is to create an account. And one of you already successfully created an account, right? One thing to remember is that when you're getting the feature code, sometimes you may get an error such as the service is not available, something like that. If you get that error, you just try again. Sometimes you need to click on twice when you get a new feature code. Well, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you're gonna look at it when you start doing following instructions. You'll see it. Okay, so you want to make sure. Oh, one thing is I'm gonna remind you this like a broken record all semester long. Do not enter your credit card number, please. Do not enter the credit card number. Once you do it, you're gonna lose support, and account is gonna be no longer academic, and you'll be charged. And also TA, which me, will not be able to support it because we don't have a paid account. We only know academic account, okay? You're not gonna get more hours. Well, we'll talk about hours later. This one you're going to be using this platform starting from assignment 2. Assignment 1, you're not using a platform, and do not install anything for assignment 1. Assignment 1 is theoretical. Remember this, you do not need to install the Hadoop. You do not need to install HBase. Very important, okay? Now, next one.
Yeah, I just want to say the
Yeah.
assignment one is pseudocode. Pseudocode, that means this is not the real working code, so you don't need to install anything, but you still will perform design of columnar database, HBase with certain purpose of application.
Yeah. And there is a video that you need to watch before you do, because there are two parts. Part 1 has a question. The last question in part 1 is designed in a way that you have to watch the video. Okay, and the video will also help you with the part 2 of the assignment. Okay, so make sure you watch the video. Right. Next one, right?
Hold on, I see in the chat two things, let me clarify. Do
Okay.
autonomous car use classical AI? Autonomous car actually is the evolution of contemporary AI. Is decision made in many. At the end of the day, they work autonomously up to certain point, because autonomous car doesn't mean totally autonomous. So we can see the human being. I didn't go to all the different architecture of the contemporary AI. You can have the human in the loop or the human out of the loop. So in autonomous car, we still have the human to perfection this system constantly. It's not the system itself learning imperfection is itself. So the human can be in the loop or human can be out of the loop, which is the case of autonomous car. Okay, but this is still contemporary AI. I'm sorry, we are moving back and forth. I didn't see the question before, maybe it wasn't. So there is another question regarding assignment 1 link in the classroom result in the file not found error. Okay, Professor Ozan, Elena will check this, okay?
Yes, don't do that. But
And somebody put if right click download, it works. So just do that.
maybe it's not opening up.
Elena, you're fighting away.
Oh, maybe it's not opening up. What? Can you hear me now?
No, yeah, like you are away from the mic.
I'm close to the mic. As close as
Well, I
can.
don't know what the problem is.
I don't know either. Now it's okay?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was saying that sometimes maybe the file does not preview in Leo depending on the format. But if you download it and open it on your local PC, it will work. Happens. It happens. Okay?
We don't have too much control about this file, I will tell you, because the way the classroom is built, there is a model and there are some permission. When this model copy to the actual classroom, they are still, you have to right click and allow the file and open in your computer and of course save it in order to work with this. Many of the attached file work this way. So that is the architecture of our classroom, which actually neither myself as program director nor the professor have access. We can, of course, if there is broken link, please report and we will fix it. But if you can click and download, right click and download the file, this is, in many cases, this is the way it's supposed to work, okay?
There is a discussion thread called report broken link. So that's where you post it. Okay?
Mhm.
Well, this is just an example of what you will see. Right?
Mhm.
Welcome and your name. Yeah, this is the, oh, this is the IBM Cloud Pack. So that's for the assignment 2. Yes, it's a sub-platform, and I'm going to talk about it more when we get to it. Okay?
So just open parentheses, for each major assignment, since we are going to use different technology, we will have a synchronous a session like today to walk you through this new technology. So this is what Elena is referring to. I'm going to talk to this later,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
So
Yes. Mhm.
you are going to have, when we start Spark week 3, in order to get you ready for this new technology to work in the cloud, we will have synchronous session. When we work with the machine learning for Spark also, we will have another synchronous session. When we go to sentiment analysis also we will have, and for the chatbot also we will have synchronous session, because each of them use different technology in the cloud, and we try to accelerate your learning to get you to the point you are able to do the assignment with this new technology. So we will have this session. But of course, it's very helpful if you prepare yourself, you read, and you get with some level of preparation to this session, so you will be absorbing much more. So this slide is just to warm you up what you are going to see, okay? This is part of the technology we are going to work in. And of course, with no more the famous IBM Watson, which let's say IBM debuted, let's say, more than 7 years ago, after the famous winning on Jeopardy. And they did something very important, this very expensive, one of the first expensive, let's say, AI computer. They provide very inexpensive solution with in the cloud, providing these different applications. So not as a computer, but using its capability, the cognitive capability, training the computational power of this computer, building it in the cloud and offering it as a services we're going to use, and they are actually very inexpensive as a services to deal think in AI, like understanding images, understanding natural language, and building application with it. Okay, so this is other part. So this last slide where the technology we are going to use in the class. And here in this slide is a summary of most of the things which Professor Ozan already talked about, and Elena, They are just summarized. And let me tell you why they are here at the end after everybody already talked about this. So portion of this point were made by Professor Ozan and portion were made by Elena. Very important. I would say this is one of the most important slides of this first introduction because it summarizes how to be successful in this class and in order what not to do is already ticket to success. Let's put it this way. Of course, you have to learn, you have to do stuff, but it's very important thing to keep in mind not to do. Because why we have this thing and you don't see this thing in other classes? Because it's a lot of technology. And everything is, when you think about different technology, everything is very strictly prescribed in certain order. And if you don't follow the order, if you miss, we are not talking about intentionally, just unintentionally you miss stuff as a human being because you don't spend a lot of time to read each of and every, you read something, some instruction very fast and you miss something, you miss some steps. So here is the summary. These are the things not to do to start with. Okay, I'm not going to repeat them because Elena is going to say, oh, as a broken record it sounds, and it will sound as a broken record all over the semester. But more than happy to answer any question if you have.
Yeah. That's my recommendation.
I don't hear who is talking.
Oh, okay. I'm saying it's recommendation. You want to aim.
Don't hear you.
Oh, you want? How about now? I don't know. You want to finish the assignment 24 hours before it's due. It just helps because you want to avoid the impact of the last minute crisis. You know, the internet could go down, power, you could lose power, system outage, anything, right? Oh, and this one, you need to do all ungraded exercises because they will help you with graded assignments. So sometimes the assignment may have an ungraded part, but it does not mean that you don't need to do it. You do need to do it because later in another assignment, you might see the similar graded question, right? So that one.
I've got a question. This is Hassani. Are we using very large data sets or just a small subsets? And how are the performance on these machines?
So let's put it this way. As I said in the beginning, to talk about big data, we are not talking about necessarily very big data set. We are going to work with reasonable big data set for the purpose to get the idea of big data. Let's say the important thing is not just the size of the data set. Do you understand me? When you work with tweets, of course, you need a considerable amount of data to get, let's say, more reliable result of your model. But we are not going to work with excessively big data set, let's put it this way, because for several reasons, it put additional burden and it requires more and more computational power. And let's put it this way, the cloud is less expensive solution. Many things you cannot do in your computer if it's not in the cloud. But anyway, even in the cloud, the computational power costs money, even share it. And the thing is, why is the cloud less expensive? Because the resources are shared. So when you go to the cloud, you share resources. So we have selected data set which are representation of big data set, but are not huge and expensive data set. If this helps, I don't know if I answered you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. More questions? So here is one important summary. Elena, you want to go over it?
Sure, sometimes students students,
No, I think your mic is not okay.
oh, now better? I'm not
Yes.
sure, don't know. Sometimes students are not sure where to put the question. If the question is about your assignment grade, right, your specific grade, that goes straight to the instructor. You want to email the instructor, right? Yes, or if the confidential information should go to instructor. Salesforce, if you have an IBM Cloud account issues, right, including issue with obtaining the code, if you need any assistance with launching IBM Cloud services, any code error, sometimes it may involve troubleshooting. If you need help with ungraded exercises, any software related questions, and etc. But see, please understand that the plus side of Salesforce is that sometimes we need to do a screen share to help you. Sometimes I need to look at your screen. You might think, my classmate got similar error, right? But the reason he or she got an error could be different from the reason why you're getting an error. So sometimes some issues require the screen share, and I would have to schedule it with you. So all right, so please do not hesitate to submit to Salesforce, because some questions cannot be solved in the classroom because I would have to look at what you're doing to reproduce the error, right? But anything about the syllabus, non-software related questions, etc., this goes to the instructor discussion. And there is another discussion where you want to report any broken links. Okay? Does it make sense? No?
Now we are going to your preferred part, which is real-time Q&A. And here we are. If you want to speak, you can speak. We are not very big. You can pause either in the chat, you mute yourself and speak the way you prefer. Just we want to make sure that we will answer whatever question arises at this moment.
While waiting their questions, Professor, I just want to emphasize the importance of the announcements one more time. You know, we regularly post announcements related to assignments, related to grading, related to how to participate in the discussion boards. I definitely recommend everyone to follow the announcements, put kind of notifications if they have to, but please read the announcements in very detail. In those announcements, we have some descriptions about the course content. We have descriptions about the assignments, but whatever we have post, all are definitely very useful. And as Yelena stated, please don't hesitate to ask any question. If your question is related to assignments, the content of the course, content of the assignment, description of anything related to course content or assignments, please send your email to me directly. If your questions are related to software, how to sign up, how to register, how to use, those are also goes to Yelena.
There is a question in the chat about JSON. Well, in the last assignment, there's a little bit. Because when you implement the chatbot behind the scene is a JSON code. So you might see a little bit of JSON. Last assignment. Did it help? Okay.
I don't see more question. Anyone shy? Well, this is just warm up. It's the first week. We understand. Just get ready. And I want just to tell the right way to do the thing and to not get lost because it's too much. All courses in this program are very intense 6-credit courses, you know that. But it's too much because we jump from one technology, from one topic to another, trying the most important selected in this big area we are working. So in order to be successful, don't jump directly to the assignment. Do the reading. So you, when you go to the assignment, you know what you're doing and why. Otherwise, even though clicking, you do the assignment, you are going to be lost. You won't find meaning in what you're doing. So the right way is you have selected reading, read them, and then proceed to the assignment. And very important, they are ungraded exercise quizzes. Do them because they are attesting that really you are preparing to move to the next level, which is the biggest assignment. Even some of the assignments are not going to open. For instance, we have the assignment 2 and assignment 3 are 2-step assignment. You have something which is named tutorial, which is from the 25-point assignment 2. I don't remember if it's 25 or 20. You are having 5 points in the tutorial. And when you submit the tutorial, only then and only after that, the real assignment will open for you. The real assignment is not open. And it's not open because if you are not prepared, you are going to burn all the resources assigned to you in the cloud because you are not prepared. You are going to get frustrated and the result is going to be detrimental. So keep in mind, assignment 2 and 3, they do not open until you submit the tutorial. Only then and after then they will open. And the tutorial is just 5 points, but is the key to be minimally prepared to proceed to the next stage of the assignment. Okay. Yes, you are going to be provided data set for the assignment. And this is for 2 reasons, Jensen. First, if we don't provide you with the data set, you will waste, we have seen this. So at some point we wanted to give more liberty to the student, but it ended up that there is no liberty. We were chaining them to not succeed because they wanted to go this way and the other way, and we're not happy with this and then the other. So we are providing the data set, okay? Of course, you have some liberty to choose in some of the assignments for several of them provided, but we do provide the data set. So you don't have to waste time in looking for that on the other, okay? More question? Actually, we spend good amount of time. If there are not more questions, and if questions are coming after that, you have, you can post them in the classroom. You have many different ways to ask your question. And of course, the most important is, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask questions. There is not such a thing as stupid question. Don't hesitate to ask your question. Don't hold up. Ask the question. That is the key for success. If you have question, ask the question. Don't hold up. Okay. And if I don't get more question, if we don't get more question in the next minute, I'm going to stop sharing And we are going to finish the recording for the today session. Any other question? No.